Allow me to go to the phones. Here is Mike in Northwest Washington. Mike, you're on the air. Gentlemen, please don your headphones. Mike, go ahead, please.
Hi, this question is for Josh Lopez. Do you have any relatives that are here illegally? And if so, how do you think that's fair to D.C. residents who have to compete with undocumented residents for D.C. resources? I mean, we're in a economic hardship right now.
Mike, I am not going to allow Joshua Lopez to answer the question of whether or not he has any relatives who are here illegally. I will allow him to answer the question of what are his views on immigration policy.
Okay, well, to answer your first question, no. The only person who came over to this country were my mother and my father. My father has since returned to Guatemala, but my whole family lives over there. My mother's the only one that's here, and she's a citizen. The second part of the question, one is just to have, policies that are inclusive of people. You look at, Latinos in the city, we're the highest dropout, we have the highest dropout rate in the schools. We're disproportionately affected when it comes to teen pregnancy and health issues. Part of that, again, is not having a political voice, people that understand the issues that can communicate to the residents in the city. They're essentially being ignored on every level in D.C., which is part of the reason why I jumped into this race. I'm tired of the tokenism. I'm tired of being ignored. It's time that we step up and accept responsibility and go out there and advocate on our own selves.
800-433-8850 is the number. You can send email to kojo at wamu.org. Here is Steve at Eastern Market.
Hi, this question is for Mr. Orange. Mr. Orange, you go after Council Chair Brown for over $100,000 in unaccounted for campaign expenditures, but in your last campaign finance report, you reported over $60,000 in money order contributions, which are essentially cash contributions that are 100% untraceable. So I'm just curious how you square your campaign criticisms of Council Chair Brown against, what you do in practice with your own campaign.
Well, first of all, every contribution on my campaign finance report is documented with a name and an address, and so it's completely within the bounds of the law. And let me say that I did not go after Chairman Brown. Chairman Brown filed 4 amended campaign reports in the midst of a campaign. And as a attorney and a CPA, and you're looking at this like, why are these reports being filed a couple weeks before Election Day? And when I looked at it and I saw that one report indicated that the ending balance was $73,000 and the beginning number was a 0. So being an accountant, the first question is, wow, what is that about? What happened to the $73,000? So it was based on that question that, in fact, the inquiry was started.
Well, sticking to this race, to just clarify, because I haven't seen that report, the caller said $60,000 in money order contributions to your campaign, but those money orders had names and addresses attached to them. I'm not quite sure what his allegation was.
Yeah, I don't know the allegation, and I'm just assuming that his premise is correct. I don't know how many were money orders or not, but I do know that it is in compliance with the laws of District of Columbia, and actually the Office of Campaign Finance has done a desk audit, which I assume of every campaign, and they want copies of some of the checks of what they want to examine. But I'm in full compliance, and I plan to be in full compliance.
Can I go? Thank you. Patrick Maurer, you as a Republican, but you've been endorsed by, is it Bud PAC? Is that what it's called? Bud PAC?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Well, you don't know if you've been endorsed by them?
I mean, they're...
Bud Doggett's, wasn't it Bud Doggett's whole PAC, his wife?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any kind of endorsement.
Well, they sent out some mailer for you.
I'm aware there was a mailer that was sent out. Yes.
People like to have endorsements, and I think people should be endorsed by various interest groups. The Teachers Union, I think, endorsed Mr. Orange. Is that right? Are there any endorsements somebody wants to quickly mention?
I was endorsed by the police officers yesterday.
By the rank and file FOP?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think Chief Lanier ought to go?
I think that we need to. I think we need to.
You're waiting. That's a long time to answer.
Well, no, I think we need. No, but one of the issues that I see with the D.C. Council specifically is that if you watch a hearing on any given day on Channel 13, you see a chairman and really no members of the council asking tough questions. I think that as a member of the council, I'll ask Chief Lanier.
Chris Bauman, the head of the FOP, didn't want Chief Lanier reappointed by Mayor Gray, and he's furious at Mayor Gray for reappointing. He was here last week and all over Channel 13.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on record as saying that I supported her appointment
and her continued employment.
Yes, I mean, I'm not a
Is
member
anybody
of the
here
council,
against
so-
Chief Lanier? She's got the higher 80% approval rating, so nobody's going to say right.
She's a great chief.
But anyway, back to the business thing. Business is an important part of the city. I mean, in terms of the development money, this city is rapidly changing. A lot of the poor population is moving to Prince George's County. Some people think we're becoming Manhattan, that you're going to have to be well-to-do or totally depend on the government to live in this city. What does it mean for a substantial business group to endorse you? What does that mean?
Well, I think there's a certain level of recognition that the way the council approaches spending and taxation now is not the path we need to be on. For example, spending's up 78% in the last decade. We cannot continue. These levels of spending cannot be sustained. So I'll be a member of the council who will look at spending. This recent budget, to say that we're tightening our bootstraps is a farce. It's up 3.1%. So I am going to be a member of the council who looks at spending.
What about anybody want to jump in on this in terms of the spending? The mayor's proposed a budget. He talked for endlessly about $300 million deficit issue, but the budget, in fact, is going to grow by $300 million. Is it more than accounting? Sekou Billo, you're on the council. What do you looked at it?
Yeah, well, I think we have to live within our means. That's the bottom line. I think that this budget does have increases. I think we really need to ask ourselves, the mayor's laid out some priorities, and I personally feel as though what we need to do is keep the budget as level as possible in those areas that are priorities and look for places to cut.
Do you support the mayor's proposal that people who make $200,000 or more a year pay about 0.5% more in income taxes?
No, because if we don't live within the means we have right now, we'll never have and exert the political will to make the cuts and make the government more efficient. I mean, no one would argue that we're running a clean, efficient machine. We look at our CAFR audit from this year. We know that we're losing money.
Don't say CAFR. Nobody knows what that means.
Yeah.
All right. Josh Lopez, always, and that's Southerners. We always drag that name out. I apologize. Lopez. What about it? Do you support the higher tax for the higher income?
Yes, I do.
Why would that?
Historically, the first people to feel, any effect are low-income residents. We're unwilling to dip into the reserve funds anymore. Realistically, if we want to preserve the good programs that are in place and we want to take care of our neediest residents, our young people, our seniors, our working class, we're going to have to raise taxes somewhere.
Councilmember Jack Evans, who's been the longtime finance chairman, said of the council this week that the mayor doesn't understand that that $200,000 cap will affect 4,000 small businesses that operate in the city, and that those people, those small businesses that employ 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 10 people, they will be paying more money. Is it your intention that small business owners pay more money, or are you talking about just individuals?
Individuals, but I was at a workshop this morning with the DC Fiscal Policy Institute with Ed Lazier and Lisa Silverman. They did a breakdown. Those who make $300,000, will see a $400 increase in their taxes. So, I think in DC, unlike other jurisdictions, we have progressive individuals, who care about the city, and they're willing to pay a little bit more if it means, taking care of our neediest residents.
What about that, Mr. Reed? And of course, the DC Fiscal Policy Institute is an advocacy group for social spending. It's not an accounting firm. Just to be clear, it's a good organization, but that's what they want to do. Mr. Weaver, what about it?
No, I agree. I think that if you looked at what my family's tax increase under Mayor Gray's proposal, it's $200. It's about a $200 increase, something like 0.08% growth, and there's a sunset clause to it. If you look at where the majority of the cuts have come out of the last two budgets, it ends up being everything that's within the social safety net. It's domestic violence shelters, it's low barrier family shelters. There's no space for families that are homeless right now, and also we really just completely have closed off any revenue to the Public Housing Trust Fund. I mean, we have no real money that's going to be able to help spur up any.
Yes, on the higher tax.
So yeah, in this proposal, I mean, it wasn't ideal. It's not what I would have proposed, but I support that portion of the mayor's proposal.
Vincent Orange, your website says collectively we need to increase revenue. We need to grow our tourism industry in the nation's capital and bring our many economic development projects to fruition in order to increase revenue and provide jobs. A, do you believe, as a few others seem to, that there needs to be this tax increase on people above a certain income? And two, obviously there have to be cuts. Where would be the first place that you would cut?
No, I do not believe that we need to have a tax increase. I believe what we should be doing is going out collecting the money that's owed to the District of Columbia. We're owed.
Does that include going out to people who haven't paid parking tickets? There's a lot of screaming about that.
Absolutely. That's a $300 million number of.
But some people haven't paid tickets back to the 1990s. You want to go and get them?
Absolutely. In fact, In fact, the entire amount that's owed in that particular area is about $1 billion. The article came out just a couple of weeks ago. But in addition to that, it's $347.7 million for Medicaid reimbursement, of which $109 million was from last year. And then we also have our real estate tax lien portfolio. So it's easy for someone to say, hey, let's go raise taxes. No, let's go collect our money so we don't have to raise taxes, and so we will not have to have these cuts. We're in bad economic times, but remember, we were in bad economic times in 1999.
You're not going to collect those
office.
taxes anytime soon. It'll take months, if not years, to collect money. How would you have to balance the budget before,
Not true, because on the real estate tax liens, if they had put that out on the market, which has been done before, if the package is $200 million and you sell it for $100 million, they're going to pay you up front because someone else gets the rights.
You're going to privatize debt collection.
That would be fine. I'll outsource that. And then as it relates to Medicaid reimbursement, it's unacceptable for an agency head to say, I cannot and will not file the paperwork to get money that's owed to the District of Columbia. So if we go out and raise taxes, I don't think we're getting more money, but we still have not solved the problem that in excess of $1 billion is owed to the District of Columbia, and we're doing nothing about it. And that's what I will do, push to collect the money that's owed to the District of Columbia.
We're talking with